This is my final lab for programming. So I have an assembly line with 3 stations, 1, 2, and 3. A motor represents the part moving from each station to the next, and an ultrasonic distance sensor represents the sensor on the assembly line, which tells the line where the part is. So depending on its distance from the sensor, the part will be at a different station. Right now it keeps showing up at station 1 because there's nothing in front of the distance sensor to tell it that it's moving. So I'll demonstrate that in a second. But then the final part of the assembly line is the staging area where we have spaces for 2 parts. There's one there already, and then the second one will show up once I demonstrate moving a part along the assembly line. And after 2 parts have showed up, then they are assembled and they go away. So right now it's at station 1. The motor will move in a second, representing the part going to station 2. And then we put an object in front of the sensor so it knows that the part has moved to station 2. The second LED will light up. The motor will start to move again, showing that the part is going to station 3, and we'll move our object in front of the sensor again, and the part shows up at station 3, and the motor moves, and the part should go to that staging area at the end and light up the second LED. And there we go, and now it's back. Now there's a new part of station 1. The motor is moving, and I'll demonstrate it one more time just for the heck of it. The part goes to, oops, I'm a little too close, so it went straight to station 3. But that means that the 2 parts will disappear and the new part will show up, so there will be one LED lit when it gets there. Yeah. So back at station 1 we have a new part, and that part that was just moving has gone to the staging area. Now we'll put a second part moving to station 2. Okay, the motor's going. Our part is in front of the sensor. Station 2 lights up. The motor starts to move again, and our part moves to station 3. The part leaves station 3, the motor's moving again, and that second LED will light up. So there's a couple of components to this project in terms of how I wrote my code. First of all, I had to use a source code that I found. It actually came with my Arduino kit for this stepper motor. So I've got the stepper motor going to a driver right here, and these wires go to different pins on the Arduino that basically control the motor. And that's in a library, which you can see in my code. It's called right here, this business. And then the other thing that was a little tricky was the ultrasonic sensor. So that basically sends a signal out, and it bounces off an object and is received back at the sensor. The sensor judges the amount of time it took for that signal to return, and bases on that signal the distance of the object from the sensor. And then everything else I pretty much programmed myself. So I have 3 functions, 1 for each station, 1, 2, 3, and then a 4th function, which is what's running this stepper motor. So again, I used the code that I found in that 4th function. And then there's a tricky little piece of programming that tells the program to do something if the number is odd or even, so I have it counting the parts that are traveling along my assembly line, and if it's an even numbered part, the second LED lights up. And you can see that in my serial monitor here. So it says which station the part is at currently. It'll print that. Station 1, because I'm not putting anything in front of the sensor, so it keeps thinking it's a station 1. Station 2, station 3, and then assembly number 0, 1. And after that, it actually will print the assembly number divided by 2. So it's assembly 2 twice because we have 2 parts for assembly 2. Assembly 3 twice because we have 2 parts for assembly 3, and so on. So that is my final lab for computer programming.